a land of vast horizons where the earth meets the sky, where the clouds paint stories across the infinite blue, and the wind whispers of ancient secrets. There is a land where the sky feels closer, where the wind whispers stories older than time, where warriors once shook the world, and where freedom still rides on horseback across endless horizons. Welcome to Mongolia. Mongolia, land of the eternal blue sky, a nation born from conquest, a people shaped by survival, a culture that refused to disappear. From prehistoric giants buried beneath desert sands, to the unstoppable rise of the largest land empire in human history under Genghis Khan. From revolution to democracy, from endless steppe to modern skylines. This is a country of contrasts. The blue pearl of the north, frozen in time. Home is wherever the heart finds warmth. The ancient bond between man and eagle. The singing sands of the vast Gobi. Strength and spirit in the Nadam tradition. A spiritual legacy that resonates through the ages. The thunder of hooves, a rhythm that beats in the heart of every Mongol. In the frozen taiga, the Satan herders live in harmony with the reindeer. Ulaanbaatar, a city that never sleeps, bridging the gap between tradition and the future. The flaming cliffs where the earth turns to fire under the setting sun. The haunting beauty of throat singing, a voice that echoes the spirit of the land. Music and hospitality, the cornerstones of a culture built on endurance. On globaldraft, we don't just show countries, we experience them. We dive deep into their past, explore their present, and uncover the hidden stories few have ever heard. This is the land of the eternal blue sky. This is where history still rides free. This is Mongolia. The sun sets on a timeless land, but its story continues. In the heart of Asia lies one of the least densely populated countries on Earth. A nation larger than France, Germany, and Spain combined, yet home to barely 3 million people. This is Mongolia, locked between two global powers, Russia to the north and China to the south. Mongolia stands as a bridge between civilizations. It has no access to the sea, no tropical beaches, no lush rainforests. Yet it holds something far more powerful: space. Mongolia is often called the land of the eternal blue sky. More than 250 days of sunshine every year. A sky so vast it feels infinite. Here, nature does not whisper, it commands. Nearly half of Mongolia's population now lives in its capital, Ulaanbaatar, a city where ancient traditions meet modern ambition. Glass skyscrapers rise beside Buddhist temples, nomadic roots, in a digital age. Ulaanbaatar at night is a neon-lit testament to a nation in transition. For centuries, horses were not just transportation, they were survival, power, identity. A child in Mongolia often learns to ride before they fully learn to walk. The rhythm of hooves once carried armies across continents, armies led by one name the world would never forget. The name that defined an era, Genghis Khan. In the 13th century, the Mongol Empire became the largest contiguous land empire in human history. From the Pacific Ocean to Eastern Europe, it reshaped trade, warfare, diplomacy, and the flow of history itself. But Mongolia is not just its past. Today's Mongolia balances ancient identity with modern independence. It is a democracy, a mining-driven economy, a country navigating powerful neighbors while protecting its sovereignty. Its greatest strength may be its resilience. To understand Mongolia, you must understand space, silence, strength, and survival. This is not a crowded nation. It is a vast one, a land where the horizon teaches humility and the wind carries history. Long before empires, before horses, before even humanity, Mongolia belonged to giants. In the windswept deserts of the south, some of the most important dinosaur fossils in the world have been discovered. The cliffs of the Gobi Desert have revealed secrets buried for over 70 million years, egg nests, skeletons, entire prehistoric ecosystems frozen in time. Here, the famous velociraptor once hunted. Here, protoceratops grazed beneath ancient skies. Mongolia is not only a cradle of nomadic civilization, it is one of the greatest prehistoric museums on Earth. The earliest humans arrived in this region tens of thousands of years ago. They survived ice ages, brutal winters, and a land with no mercy. Archaeological evidence reveals stone tools, burial sites, and petroglyphs carved into rock faces. These early inhabitants were not farmers, they were hunters, migratory, adaptable. The foundations of nomadic life were already forming. But where did the name Mongol come from? Historians debate its origin. Some trace it to ancient tribal names meaning brave or eternal. Others connect it to early clan confederations that roamed the northeastern steppe. The word Mongol would not dominate history until the 13th century, but its roots stretch far deeper. By the first millennium BCE, powerful nomadic tribes dominated the steppe. They mastered horseback warfare long before Europe understood cavalry. They moved like the wind, struck without warning, and disappeared into the horizon. Among them emerged a force that would challenge ancient China itself. In the 3rd century BCE, a powerful confederation rose, the Xiongnu. Under leaders known as Chanyu, they built one of the earliest steppe empires. They raided and negotiated with the Han dynasty of China. Their military strength was so feared that China expanded and reinforced what would become the Great Wall. Some historians speculate that the Xiongnu may have connections to the later Huns who terrorized Europe. Though debated, their legacy of mounted warfare and tribal unity shaped the political DNA of the steppe. After the fall of the Xiongnu, the steppe did not fall silent. Successive powers rose and collapsed. The Xianbei, the Rouran, the Gokturks, each inherited the traditions of mobility, alliance, and ruthless efficiency. Each contributed to a political culture built not on cities, but on loyalty, blood, and strength. But unity was fragile. Tribal confederations formed and fractured. Alliances shifted constantly. Leadership was earned through victory, lost through weakness. The steppe was not ruled by kings and palaces, it was ruled by those who could command loyalty. By the 12th century, the steppe was divided. Clans fought for dominance. Betrayal was common. Slavery between tribes was practiced. Chaos ruled the grasslands. But from this chaos, a child was born. A child who would unite the tribes and change the course of human history forever. Genghis Khan. By the 12th century, the Mongolian steppe was a land of chaos. Tribes fought constantly for survival. Alliances formed and collapsed overnight. Betrayal was common. Raids were constant. Across the endless grasslands lived dozens of rival clans, each struggling for power. Among them were tribes that would later shape history: the Borjigin, the Taichud, the Naiman, the Merkits, and many others. No king ruled them. No empire united them. Only strength determined leadership, and the steppe respected only one law: power. Around the year 1162, a child was born near the banks of the Onon River. His name was Temujin. He belonged to the Borjigin clan. His father, Yesugei, was a respected tribal leader. But destiny had other plans. When Temujin was still a young boy, his father was poisoned by enemies. His family was abandoned by their own tribe, left to starve on the open steppe. For many, this would have been the end. For Temujin, it was only the beginning. Temujin grew up in hardship. His family hunted small animals, gathered roots, fought hunger and bitter winters. Enemies hunted them. Even former allies turned against them. At one point, Temujin himself was captured by rival tribes, bound, humiliated, but he escaped. The steppe had forged something inside him: unbreakable will. Temujin understood something others did not. The steppe could not be conquered tribe by tribe. It had to be united. He built alliances through loyalty, rewarded followers based on merit, not family, a revolutionary idea for the time. Warriors joined him, former enemies became allies, and slowly, his power grew. War swept across the steppe. Temujin defeated rival tribes one by one. The Merkits, the Tatars, the Naiman. Each victory brought new warriors under his banner. But his greatest strength was not just military power, it was organization. He divided his army into units of 10, 100, 1,000, a system that created discipline unlike anything the steppe had seen before. Speed, precision, fear, his forces moved faster than any army in the world. In the year 1206, a great assembly was held. Tribal leaders gathered from across the steppe. There, Temujin received a new title, a title that would echo across history. He became Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. The tribes of Mongolia were finally united. For the first time in history, the steppe stood as one nation. But unity was only the beginning. With the steppe united, Genghis Khan looked beyond Mongolia, toward kingdoms richer than imagination, toward cities that had never faced horse archers like his, toward an empire that would stretch across continents. The world was about to change. In 1206, the tribes of the steppe had finally united under one leader, Genghis Khan. But uniting Mongolia was only the first step. Beyond the endless grasslands lay powerful kingdoms, wealthy cities, and ancient civilizations. The Mongol war machine soon turned toward northern China. The powerful Jin dynasty had ruled these lands for centuries. Their cities were massive, their armies were large, and their fortifications seemed impossible to conquer. But the Mongols adapted. They captured engineers, learned siege warfare, built catapults and siege towers. City after city fell. After years of brutal campaigns, Mongol forces pushed deeper into Chinese territory. What had once seemed impossible was now inevitable. The Mongol Empire was growing. Next came one of the most famous campaigns in Mongol history, the war against the Khwarezmian Empire, a powerful state controlling trade routes across Central Asia. At first, Genghis Khan sought peace. He sent merchants and ambassadors, but the ruler of Khwarezm made a fatal mistake. He executed the Mongol envoys. For Genghis Khan, this was an unforgivable insult. The response was devastating. Mongol armies swept across the region like a storm. Cities that resisted were destroyed. Those that surrendered were spared. Within a few years, the entire empire collapsed. Central Asia now belonged to the Mongols. The Mongol expansion did not stop in Asia. Armies pushed westward into the lands of Russia and Eastern Europe. Cities that had never heard of the Mongols suddenly faced their unstoppable cavalry. In battle after battle, Mongol forces crushed European armies. Their speed confused enemy commanders. Their tactics shattered traditional warfare. Entire regions fell under Mongol control. From the Pacific Ocean to the borders of Europe, an empire unlike any other had emerged. At its height, the Mongol Empire became the largest contiguous land empire in human history. Stretching across continents, uniting cultures, connecting trade routes from China to Europe, it reshaped the world. But even the greatest empires cannot last forever. And after the death of Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire would face a new challenge, the challenge of ruling a world it had conquered. The Mongol Empire was unlike anything the world had ever seen. At its height, it stretched across nearly a quarter of the Earth's landmass. From the forests of Eastern Europe to the shores of the Pacific Ocean, from the frozen steppes of Siberia to the deserts of the Middle East, Mongol power shaped the destiny of nations. But even the greatest empires cannot last forever. After the death of Genghis Khan, leadership of the empire passed to his sons and grandsons. For decades, Mongol rulers continued to expand the empire's borders. One of the most powerful of these rulers was his grandson, Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan did something extraordinary. Instead of ruling from the Mongolian steppe, he moved the center of power into China. There, he established the Yuan dynasty and ruled as Emperor of China. Under his leadership, the Mongol Empire entered a new era. Trade flourished across the vast network of roads known as the Silk Road. Merchants, scholars, explorers, and travelers moved freely across continents that had once been divided by war and distance. Among these travelers was a young Venetian merchant named Marco Polo, who journeyed to the court of Kublai Khan and later wrote stories that amazed Europe. For the first time in history, ideas, technologies, religions, and cultures traveled rapidly between East and West. Paper money, gunpowder, printing, navigation, knowledge of medicine and astronomy. The Mongol Empire became a bridge connecting civilizations. Yet maintaining such a vast empire was nearly impossible. After Kublai Khan's death, the empire began to fracture. Instead of one united empire, it split into several powerful regions known as khanates. These included the Golden Horde in Russia, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, and the Yuan dynasty in China. Each region ruled independently. Gradually, the unity that once made the Mongols unstoppable faded away. In China, rebellion began to grow. Chinese resistance movements rose against Mongol rule, and in the year 1368, the Yuan dynasty collapsed. The Mongols were pushed out of China and forced to retreat back to their ancestral homeland, the vast Mongolian steppe. The age of the great Mongol Empire had ended, but Mongolia itself did not disappear. For centuries afterward, Mongolian tribes continued their traditional nomadic lifestyle. They raised horses, sheep, goats, and camels across the wide grasslands, just as their ancestors had done for thousands of years. However, new powers were rising in Asia. One of the most powerful was the Qing dynasty of China. By the 17th century, Mongolia fell under the influence and control of the Qing Empire. Mongolian princes pledged loyalty to the Qing emperors, and the region became part of the vast Qing imperial system. During this time, Tibetan Buddhism spread deeply across Mongolia. Monasteries were built across the steppe, and Buddhist monks became important spiritual leaders among the Mongolian people. For generations, Mongolia remained under Qing rule. Then, in the early 20th century, the world changed again. The Qing dynasty collapsed in 1911, and Mongolia saw an opportunity. That same year, Mongolian leaders declared independence under the spiritual ruler known as the Bogd Khan. But the struggle for independence was far from over. In the years that followed, Mongolia became a battleground of competing powers. Russian forces, Chinese armies, and Mongolian revolutionaries all fought for control of the region. Eventually, with support from Soviet Russia, Mongolian revolutionaries established a new government. In 1924, Mongolia officially became the Mongolian People's Republic, one of the first socialist states in the world. For nearly 70 years, Mongolia remained closely aligned with the Soviet Union. Communist policies transformed the country, cities were built, industries developed, education and healthcare systems expanded. Yet even during this era of change, Mongolia never completely lost its ancient traditions. Nomadic families still lived in gurs, the circular felt tents known in the West as yurts. Horse culture remained central to Mongolian identity, and the endless blue sky above the steppe continued to define the soul of the nation. Then, in 1990, another historic transformation took place. Inspired by democratic movements around the world, Mongolian citizens demanded political reform. Peaceful protests filled the streets, and the communist government stepped down. Mongolia peacefully transitioned into a democratic nation. Today, Mongolia is an independent republic with a vibrant democratic system. Its capital city, Ulaanbaatar, has grown into a modern urban center surrounded by mountains and wide open plains. Yet Mongolia remains one of the most unique countries on Earth. Nearly half of its population still maintains strong connections to traditional nomadic culture. Horse racing, wrestling, and archery, the ancient sports of warriors, are celebrated every year during the famous Naadam festival. Across the countryside, families continue to live in gurs, moving with the seasons just as their ancestors did thousands of years ago. Here, modern life and ancient tradition exist side by side, and above it all stretches the endless sky that has watched over Mongolia for centuries. A sky so vast and so powerful that Mongolians call their homeland the land of the eternal blue sky. Every civilization in history has been shaped not only by its people, but by the land on which it was built. Geography is more than just terrain. It is the silent architect of history, defining borders, guiding migration, influencing trade, and determining the rise and fall of nations. The landscapes of this region are remarkably diverse, ranging from towering mountain ranges and fertile plains to vast deserts and powerful rivers. Each of these natural features played a critical role. Mountains often served as natural barriers, protecting civilizations from invasions while also isolating cultures and allowing unique traditions to flourish. These rugged peaks created strategic defense lines and influenced the movement of armies, traders, and explorers. Rivers became the lifeblood of settlement. Flowing through valleys and plains, they provided fresh water, fertile soil, and transportation routes that connected distant communities. Many early cities were built along these rivers. Over time, these waterways transformed into major economic corridors, allowing goods, ideas, and cultures to travel across vast distances. The fertile plains surrounding these rivers became centers of agriculture. Generations of farmers cultivated crops that supported growing populations. These plains were not simply farmland. They were the foundation upon which entire civilizations were built. Beyond these fertile lands, dense forests and rolling hills offered valuable natural resources such as timber, wildlife, and shelter. Forest regions often shaped lifestyles, influencing architecture, trade materials, and survival strategies. Further outward, deserts and dry plateaus presented far harsher environments. Yet even these landscapes became home to resilient cultures. Nomadic groups adapted to the desert environment, mastering the skills necessary to travel. Caravans carrying spices, textiles, metals, and precious goods crossed these deserts, connecting distant civilizations through ancient trade networks. Coastal regions introduced another dimension to geography. Access to the sea opened pathways for exploration and maritime trade. Coastal cities became vibrant ports where merchants, travelers, and ideas from across the world converged. These maritime connections accelerated development. Across centuries, these landscapes shaped how societies developed, how cities expanded, and how empires rose. Human history unfolded within these boundaries. Even in the modern era, the influence of geography remains visible. Highways often follow ancient trade routes. Cities still stand where rivers once supported life. And many political borders continue to mirror natural barriers, such as mountain ranges and waterways. Geography continues to shape our movement. Mountains remain silent witnesses to centuries of history. Rivers still nourish the land as they have for thousands of years. And the vast landscapes that shape civilizations remain a timeless reminder that history is never separate from the earth beneath our feet. Beyond the mountains, rivers, and plains that shaped human history, another story has always unfolded quietly across these landscapes: the story of wildlife. For thousands of years, the natural environments of this region have supported an extraordinary diversity of plant and animal life. From dense forests and fertile river valleys to open grasslands and coastal ecosystems, each habitat created a unique home for countless species. The forests, with their towering trees and shaded undergrowth, became thriving ecosystems filled with life. Birds soared above the canopy, insects and small animals moved beneath the leaves, and larger mammals roamed through the quiet woodland paths. These forests were not only vital for wildlife, but also for the balance of the natural environment. Within these wooded landscapes, animals adapted to survive in a constantly changing world. Some species relied on camouflage and agility to escape predators, while others developed powerful hunting instincts to secure their place in the food chain. Every species played a role in maintaining the delicate balance of nature. Rivers and wetlands added another dimension to this rich biodiversity. Freshwater ecosystems supported fish, amphibians, birds, and countless aquatic plants. The flow of water created life-sustaining environments where animals could feed, reproduce, and migrate across vast distances. These waterways often became seasonal gathering points for wildlife. Across the open grasslands, larger animals thrived. Herds of grazing mammals moved across the plains in search of food, while predators followed carefully, maintaining the natural cycle of survival and adaptation. These wide landscapes allowed wildlife to roam freely for generations. Even in the harsh deserts and dry plateaus, life found remarkable ways to endure. Specially adapted animals learned to survive extreme heat, limited water, and rugged terrain. Their resilience demonstrated the incredible ability of nature to flourish even in the most challenging environments. Together, these environments formed a complex network of ecosystems where plants, animals, and natural forces interacted in harmony. For centuries, wildlife remained an integral part of the landscape, shaping the rhythms of nature long before modern civilizations expanded across the land. Today, conservation efforts aim to protect this biodiversity for future generations. National parks, wildlife reserves, and environmental protections help preserve fragile ecosystems that have existed for thousands of years. These efforts remind us that the story of this land is not only about human history, it is also about the countless living creatures that continue to share it. Culture is the living heartbeat of every civilization. It reflects the traditions, beliefs, and daily lives of the people who have called this land home for generations. Across the vast landscapes of Mongolia, culture has been shaped by centuries of nomadic life, deep connections with nature, and a strong sense of community. For thousands of years, the open steppe has been home to nomadic families who moved with the seasons, following the rhythms of nature and the needs of their livestock. At the center of this lifestyle stands the traditional Mongolian home, the yurt, known locally as the jur. These circular portable homes are designed to withstand the harsh climates of the steppe while providing warmth and shelter. Life around the GER is deeply connected to family and daily routines. Adults tend to animals, prepare food, and manage household responsibilities, while children grow up learning the skills needed to live on the land. From an early age, many children learn how to ride horses, help care for livestock, and participate in ancient traditions. Traditional clothing also plays an important role in cultural identity. The Mongolian deel, a long robe tied with a sash, remains a recognizable symbol of national heritage. These garments are often beautifully decorated with colorful fabrics, intricate embroidery, and designs that reflect regional traditions. Even today, many people proudly wear traditional attire during important celebrations. Among the most important cultural celebrations is the historic Naadam festival, often called the Three Manly Games. During Naadam, competitors from across the country gather to participate in three traditional sports: horse racing, archery, and wrestling. Young riders race across the open steppe in thrilling displays of endurance and skill. Archers demonstrate incredible precision using traditional bows. Wrestlers compete in powerful matches that honor centuries-old traditions of strength and discipline. These events are powerful expressions of national pride and cultural identity. Children play an important role in keeping traditions alive. Through games, education, and everyday experiences, younger generations learn the values, stories, and customs that define their culture. From horseback riding to traditional songs and dances, these traditions are shared and preserved through family and community life. Community gatherings often revolve around shared meals, storytelling, and hospitality. Visitors are welcomed warmly into homes where tea and food are offered as a symbol of respect and friendship. This strong culture of hospitality reflects the deep social connections that have helped nomadic communities thrive in challenging environments. While Mongolia has embraced modern development and growing cities, traditional culture continues to remain an important part of everyday life. While Mongolia has embraced modern development and growing cities, traditional culture continues to remain an important part of everyday life. Modern lifestyles now exist alongside ancient traditions, creating a unique blend of heritage and progress. Across cities, towns, and open landscapes, the spirit of Mongolian culture continues to flourish. Mongolia is a land of extraordinary contrasts. From ancient historical landmarks to untouched natural landscapes, the country offers travelers a unique opportunity to explore both the legacy of its past and the beauty of its natural world. Across this vast nation, Tourism reveals stories that stretch from the era of empires to the peaceful rhythms of modern nomadic life. Much of Mongolia's natural beauty lies in its immense open landscapes. The Mongolian steppe, stretching endlessly across the horizon, remains one of the largest remaining grassland ecosystems in the world. Here, travelers can experience a rare sense of freedom, wide skies, open plains, and a landscape that feels almost timeless. One of the country's most iconic modern landmarks is the towering Genghis Khan statue complex. Standing over 40 meters tall, this enormous stainless steel monument honors the legendary leader known to the world as Genghis Khan. Traveling further into Mongolia's history brings visitors to the ancient capital of Karakorum. Once the center of the Mongol Empire, Karakorum was a crossroads of trade, culture, and diplomacy. Nearby stands the remarkable Erdene Zu Monastery. While Mongolia is famous for its open landscapes, its capital city offers a fascinating look at the country's modern life. The vibrant city of Ulaanbaatar blends contemporary development with deep historical traditions. Within the capital, visitors can explore sacred sites such as the famous Gandan Monastery, a major center of Buddhist learning and worship. Modern buildings stand alongside ancient temples, creating a unique balance between past and present. Gandanteg Chinlen Monastery remains a spiritual symbol for the nation. Nearby, the Bogd Khan Palace Museum preserves the residence of Mongolia's last monarch, offering a glimpse into the country's royal history and cultural heritage. Nature lovers can also witness Mongolia's unique wildlife in protected areas like Hustai National Park. This remarkable park is famous for the successful reintroduction of the rare Przewalski's horse, the world's last truly wild horse species. Another breathtaking destination is Turkin Tsagaan Nur, also known as the White Lake. Formed by ancient volcanic activity, this beautiful freshwater lake is surrounded by volcanic landscapes, forests, and peaceful valleys. For many travelers, the most memorable experience comes from living the nomadic lifestyle. Visitors can stay in traditional yurts, ride horses across the open steppe, and share meals with local families who continue to live in harmony with the land. These experiences reveal the true spirit of Mongolia. Modern Mongolia stands at a remarkable intersection of history and progress. While the country's vast steppe landscapes and nomadic traditions remain deeply rooted in its identity, Mongolia is also embracing modernization and global economic opportunities. At the center of this transformation lies the growing capital city of Ulaanbaatar. Home to nearly half of the nation's population, Ulaanbaatar has rapidly evolved into Mongolia's political, economic, and cultural hub. Modern buildings, international businesses, universities, and technology companies now shape the skyline of this expanding city. Yet, traditional culture still remains an essential part of everyday life. At the heart of Mongolia's political system stands the state palace, dominated by the statue of Genghis Khan. Today, Mongolia operates as a democratic republic. Following the peaceful democratic revolution of 1990, the country transitioned from a socialist system to a parliamentary democracy. Citizens now elect their leaders through national elections, shaping the country's political direction. Economically, Mongolia possesses some of the richest mineral resources in Asia. Large deposits of coal, copper, gold, and rare earth elements have transformed mining into one of the country's most important industries, positioning Mongolia as a strategic supplier to the global market. As the economy grows, infrastructure development continues to expand. New roads, railways, and trade corridors are being built to strengthen connections with neighboring countries. These developments are helping Mongolia integrate more deeply into regional and global trade networks. The national currency of Mongolia is the Mongolian tugrug. The tugrug has been the official currency since 1925 and remains central to Mongolia's financial system today, used in everyday transactions from city markets to rural trading posts across the steppe. Despite modernization, Mongolia remains one of the few countries where traditional nomadic life still thrives. Thousands of families continue to herd sheep, goats, horses, and camels, moving seasonally across the steppe as their ancestors have done for thousands of years. This deep connection with the land continues to shape Mongolia's cultural identity. At the same time, a new generation of Mongolians is helping drive innovation and change. Young entrepreneurs, students, and professionals are building businesses, studying abroad, and bringing new ideas back to their country. Technology, education, and international cooperation are opening new possibilities for Mongolia's future. As evening falls across the endless steppe, Mongolia's story continues to evolve. A nation once known for conquering empires now faces a different challenge, balancing tradition with modernization in an ever-changing world. Yet beneath the vast skies of the steppe, the spirit of Mongolia remains strong. A land where ancient history, cultural pride, and modern ambition continue to ride together beneath the eternal blue sky. Mongolia is more than just a place on the map. It is a land where history rides with the wind, where ancient traditions still live beneath the endless sky. Across these vast landscapes, generations have lived in harmony with nature, following the rhythm of the seasons, the movement of the herds, and the quiet wisdom of the land. From the rise of mighty empires to the peaceful lives of modern nomads, Mongolia's story is one of resilience, courage, and deep cultural pride. It is a country where the past and present walk side by side, where the legacy of great leaders still echoes across the steppe, and where the spirit of freedom continues to inspire those who call this land home. But Mongolia is not only a story of history, it is also about the future. A future shaped by young generations who carry forward their traditions while embracing new possibilities. A future where ancient culture and modern ambition continue to grow together beneath the eternal blue sky. For those who visit, Mongolia leaves a lasting impression, not only because of its breathtaking landscapes or its fascinating history, but because of its people, their hospitality, and their enduring connection to the land. And perhaps that is the true spirit of Mongolia, a place where the world still feels wide, where nature still leads the way, and where the stories of the past continue to guide the journey ahead. If you enjoyed this journey through the history, culture, and landscapes of Mongolia, make sure to support the channel. Don't forget to like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Global Draft. Thank you for watching, and until the next journey, stay curious.